Go ahead and get started. So we're gonna start with roll call. Thomas, Shakari,
Here.
Kelly,
Here.
Janine, Kiara,
Here.
Kavya,
Here.
Peyton,
Here.
Rishi. Oh, sorry. Rishi,
Here.
Jada,
Oh, here.
Here.
Manid, Joseph, Robert,
Present, calling him from Troy, Miami County, Ohio.
Karis, Morgan, Sarah,
Here.
Zion, and myself, De'Ara Searles.
Thomas is also here. He just joined as well. And Joseph just joined as well for attendance purposes.
Okay, thank you. Our next item is our opening invocation. Do we have anyone that wants to volunteer to do that? So if no one volunteers, do we just move on to the next item?
You can offer to do the opening invocation if no one wants to do so.
I'm okay, so I'll just say a prayer. Thank you, Lord, for these amazing people and letting us gather for such a great cause. In Jesus' name I pray, amen. So our next order of business is the approval of the minutes from the February 23rd meeting. Do I have a motion to approve the minutes?
Madam Chair, I'd like to make a motion to approve the minutes from the February 23rd, 2023 Youth Council meeting.
Does anyone second that motion? Does anyone second the motion?
I second the motion.
Thank you. Do we have to say
Peyton Kitchen.
all in favor say aye?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, our next item is our 10-minute speaker series, and we have a guest speaker who is Lori Rivetto, and she'll be talking to us about interview skills. So, hello, Lori, welcome.
Hi, thank you for having me. I'm going to share my screen just so that we have some visuals. That's okay. Oops, that means whoever's sharing right now will have to stop. Awesome, thank you. So yeah, I'm here to share about 10 interview tips. So we're going to cover real quick 10 interview tips in 10 minutes. My name is Lori Rivetto, as shared. I appreciate you bringing me here. I'm an educator with MSU Extension. I'm based in Wayne County, so I'm based in your home county. And I get to do programming around career exploration, workforce readiness, financial literacy with young people in Wayne County, but then across the state as well. So real quick, just a reminder that all of our programs are open to all, and I'm going to end up putting a survey into the, whoops, I was trying to get my survey and it opened up the wrong thing. I'm going to send a survey in the chat. If you don't mind filling it out, just make sure that our programs are reaching our diverse audiences. So it'll take you just a couple minutes to fill that out. It's answer the questions as much as you feel comfortable, but it just helps that we know that we're reaching the diverse audiences in our county that we aim to reach. We also have that land acknowledgement on the screen, just acknowledging the history and legacy of colonialism that brought us to reside on the land that we do. So I'm going to get started on some tips while you're filling out that survey on my behalf. I appreciate that. First tip is that you need to network. It is actually the #1 way to find a job. Networking is really all about making connections, developing leads, building relationships. It's about talking to people in your life and letting them know what you're interested in, and thinking about the places where someone can help you get the career opportunities, or even just explore career opportunities as well. So sometimes people think that people get jobs from, LinkedIn or from searching online, but really it's through who you know. So if you have any ideas in the chat, I'd love to hear who and where you think you can network to find a job, just to start brainstorming as a group, and you can help each other think of some ideas. Oops, there we go. That's the link if I didn't send it. #2 tip is to dress for success. So you really want to go to your interview ready to make your best impression. You don't want to have your clothes or your appearance be the thing that either makes or breaks your interview, in the sense that you want to be able to sell yourself during the interview. So your clothes are not the thing that are really are selling you. You want to dress well, whether it's a virtual interview. There's a lot more virtual interviews now, whether it's a virtual interview or an in-person interview. You really want to make sure that you look good and you've checked yourself out before you get on to that interview or go to that interview. Details matter, so you want to avoid low-cut shirts or tight-fitting things, unnatural makeup, gaudy or large jewelry, not too many watches, jewelry, things that make noise. You want to make sure that you're clean and well-groomed. Have things that fit you appropriately, including glasses. You want to make sure that you've kind of trimmed your nails or your hair, or facial hair. So you really want to keep it simple for your appearance. #3 tip is you want to do your research. So a couple things you want to research. You want to research yourself. So you want to make sure that you understand what you're looking for. You've prepared for that interview. You know what your skills, your experience, your education, your qualifications are, and how that would be of interest. You also want to make sure that you've researched the job, so you understand the job position, what they're looking for, how you would be a good fit for it. You want to look at what those keywords are that they're looking for, so you could use that during the interview. You want to research the company. So what is their mission? What are they offering? What's their history? What's their culture like? Do some research online, or if you have someone in your network who knows them, find out things about the company so you can reference it during your interview. And then finally, the industry. So what are the trends? What's up and coming in the industry? How could you help advance or meet the needs of the industry as you're part of that world? So that's kind of something to think about. For instance, delivery or DoorDash is really popular with the food industry. So knowing that trend, how would you be able to support that or help that? #4 is just practice interviewing. Really helpful step, just practice, just see what you look like. You can practice in front of a mirror. Some people will practice in front of, a Zoom just like this, because you can see yourself with a camera on. Practice with others, your peers, your classmates, your family members, and get their feedback. So are you talking too fast or too slow or too loud? Make sure you've got that good posture, good eye contact, or smiling. It's really helpful to write down your answers for questions ahead of time. Not that you're going to read them when you're in an interview, but just that act of writing it down can really help you prepare for what it is that you're going to say. And you want to have short, relevant stories that really demonstrate your skills and show your experience and your leadership. A lot of times it's going to be behavioral based questions, which means they really want to see examples from your past or current experiences, because that's a good example of how it will be when you're in that workplace. Virtual is really common. I mentioned this. So the big thing here is that you want to prep, make sure you've practiced out the technical things. You've practiced if your webcam's going to make things a different color or if it's facing the right direction. You know how to work your speaker and your microphone. Even more important, technology can be crazy, as we all know, and how you respond is really important. So even if things don't go well, you stay calm and composed and you explore options. So sometimes there's a phone-in option, or sometimes there's an option that maybe you can do log in a different way on your phone or on a tablet. So you can explore those options. As much as possible, though, video interviewing should be done from a computer. Consider what your background is. Make sure that you're not going to get interrupted by doorbells or pets or family members. Eliminate some of those distracting noises. Try to make it as much as possible exactly like your interview would be in person. So you want to have good lighting. You want to join early, just like you're going to arrive early to an interview. You want the camera facing your face directly. You want to dress just like a normal interview and avoid noisy rings or clicky pens, because those sounds get really enhanced sometimes on the virtual interview. Watch for those nonverbals in any type of interview. So make sure your posture is really good. You have that open arm stance, arms at the side, upright position, maybe even leaning a little forward as opposed to back, so you're not standoffish. You want to have that neat and clean appearance, that smile, that relaxed brow, the attentive gaze, a clear, steady voice, and even your movement of walking with purpose, because 66% of what we say is actually nonverbal. Number 7 is to really be present. So be on time. I recommend about 20 minutes early to the location, maybe even practice ahead of time to know where you're going to park and what door you're going to get in, because that takes extra time. Even if your map says it'll only take you 20 minutes to get there, you need to add in the parking and getting in and checking in and that type of thing. So when you get there early, you can turn off your cell phone so you don't appear distracted. You can be, you're engaged. Review your appearance, review your resume, review your notes, those notes on what your key things are you want to share. Look at those before the interview. Read office materials, look engaged. Know that you are part of the interview is happening right there, because people are watching. There might be support staff there that's paying attention. So you want to look engaged, interested, participatory from the start. You can practice breathing exercises if that helps to kind of calm yourself down as well. And then I mentioned a little bit about some of the responses to questions, but you really want to listen and respond. So paraphrase the question, repeat the question, which gives you time to make sure you're hearing all parts of the question, and also that you're giving yourself time to think. Answer the question completely. Most answers are going to be longer than 30 seconds. Have those specific goals, those specific things that you're going to highlight in mind. And like those notes that I mentioned you could do ahead of time are really helpful, of things that you really want to highlight throughout your time with the interviewer. And then ask questions. So at the end, they're typically going to say, are there any questions you have for us? Have some sort of question. So when can I expect to hear back from you? What are the typical hours? What are the company's plans for the future? Or some of my favorite ones, why do you love working for this company? Or what is your favorite part of a work day? Those types of things, because it lets the interviewer answer some things and get to share a little of their experiences, and gives you information too about whether that's the kind of place you want to work, because you're also making a decision about whether you're going to work there or whether you're going to go to that college or whatever it is as well. And then the last tip is say thank you. Definitely say it to everybody in person as you're leaving, email when you get home. You can do a handwritten note of appreciation. You can follow up with the employer as well. So say thank you. You know, don't wait for the employer to call you, but respect the timeline that they gave you. And then if this is of interest to you, we are having a workshop on Saturday, May 15th from 1 to 2:30 at the Redford Library. The sign up will be on the Redford Library website 2 weeks before. We'll have an opportunity to go through some tips and then do practice interviewing. So we'll have virtual and in-person interview opportunities at that workshop. So if you're interested in that, I'll put my email in the chat, and feel free to reach out for information on that or other workshops that we might hold with MSU Extension 4-H. So that's it for my 10 minutes. I will welcome any questions, or if there's something that you learned that you're taking away, I'd love to hear it in the chat.
Thank you so much for coming to speak to us. This information you gave us was really useful. So
Great. Hold, I see Robert has a
questions?
hand up. Robert, did you have a question?
Yes, I have a couple questions for you. So
Okay.
one thing being, will this information be sent out when the date comes approaching for these workshops, virtual and in person?
I can definitely send them over to Nairobi, I think would be who I'd probably send them to, right?
Yes.
That's correct. Yeah, I just wanted to clarify that because I'm very interested, but I'd like to say thank you for coming down and speaking with us. It was a really wonderful presentation, and I hope some of my fellow members and colleagues will take you up on this tonight. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I will definitely send that on, and I will pass that on so that you can have that information on some of those workshops as they come up. We have a variety. We have a resume one coming up in April. So yeah, I'll pass those on. And awesome. Yes, the handwritten note, great advice. It does set you apart. So definitely do a handwritten note. Even if you don't get the position and you're not chosen, that will have a long lasting positive first impression. And sometimes people follow up and will actually ask you to apply for another job that comes up. So yes, thank you for bringing that up. Thank you again, everyone. I appreciate you having me.
Thank you so much for coming to speak to us. There's not any more questions? Okay, thank you again, Ms. Rivetto. Oh, and if anyone saw, she put her email in the chat. Okay, so now we're moving on to item F, which is new business. Oh, which is item E, which is old business. So we're gonna talk about our Say Something week. So that was the week we were all at our schools, and we were supposed to do something at our school to raise awareness about gun violence. So does anyone want to speak out and say what they did at their school?
At CAS, I know on Monday, we made an announcement talking about the importance of gun safety awareness and the violence of it. And on Thursday, all English teachers were supposed to show their students like a PSA video on gun violence from the Sandy Hook video. And then on Friday, I believe counselors were sent voting registration to push out to all their students.
Thank you for sharing that with everyone, Kelly. Yeah, and also me and my grade, our grade has a Teams chat, which everyone is in. So I just sent the flyer in there and some information in the Teams chat so everyone saw it. And that's me, Kelly, and Zion all go to CAS. So does anyone else have something to share?
I
Madam
also, give me 1 second, Robert. I also wanted to share with you guys that when it comes to events like this and when we plan events like this, you guys need to just, as far as just timing with things, just do things in advance and also communicate better with each other and just in general, because you guys will tell the vice chair and the chair like, oh yeah, I want to do this at my school. And then when I follow up with you guys, it's, oh wait, I'm not going to be there this day. I haven't heard from the principal. You guys are supposed to use us as resources and communicate with us and let us know like, hey, I'm having trouble getting in touch with my principal. Is there a way that you guys can try to reach out as well to double down and see if we can get through to them to get these events set in place? And also, if you guys set to plan an event, you have to be there and you have to be a part of it because you're representing Wayne County Commission Youth Council. So I just feel like moving forward, it has to be better organization, planning, and professionalism when doing something like this. Well, go ahead, Robert, you can speak.
You took a little bit out what I was going to speak on, so I appreciate that. Us over at Southgate Anderson High School, we didn't have too much wiggle room to do a lot. My goal was to really do announcements at the first part of the week, but due to the lack of communication from the principal and myself, we weren't able to go off on that. And I'm not the only one that had trouble reaching out to their principal throughout that entire week. So we went with an alternative, and that was to create a flyer, giving resources to students and giving, a gist of how gun violence impacts most of our schools, our youth all across this country. We did canvassing in and out of the district, and we also left flyers with the principal to distribute to all the classrooms. And this was about the last bit of the week. This was Thursday and Friday that we did this. And we did get a lot of positive responses from a few students and staff as well. So we had a pretty good outcome here at Southgate. And because it was done so late, we are continuing this process past our scheduled week that we did say something to really get this message out there. That's all I have. Thank you.
Okay, Shakari.
Thank you, Robert.
Yeah, I just want to say it's super unfortunate that my school couldn't participate in the Say Something Week. And I was just wondering, like, will there be any more opportunities in the future for us to organize something like this? Or will there be basically any more like advocacy type events that we can participate in? Because I would like to do something like this in the future. Sorry.
So this is you guys' commission. So whatever you guys would like to advocate, any events you guys would like to do, as long as you communicate with the chair and vice chair, which more than likely they will be happy to, do events as such, then you guys can have these type of events to get the word out for the gun violence resolution from last year at any time during the year within your schools and within your district. That is the goal, because during our resolution last year, one of the resolves you guys came up with was every year that you guys would get the word out to spread within your community, because as you see, this is still an ongoing issue. We just recently had another school shooting. So I would suggest that you guys promote it as much as you can throughout your schools and get the word out and make sure that it's a safe place where people are able to communicate and be open and feel like somebody is trying to understand, the issue that's going on in the world right now. So I hope that answers your question.
No. That it's actually it's good that you said that, because I completely forgot that we could do that, and it would be a great idea for us to come up with something on our own and organize maybe an event or some kind of I don't know, something to push our gun violence resolution or gun safety resolution. So yeah, you answered my question.
Thank you, Shakari. Does anyone else want to share? You could say it in the chat if you're not able to speak at the moment as well.
Madam Chair, I do have a question.
Yes.
So following Shakari's point, are we allowed to organize outside of the youth council, mainly towards protests, representing the youth council, or is that not allowed since we're representing commission council and also a government body?
You're able to protest outside the council, but not like representing the council. If it will be something like that, we will all have to agree on it and do it like representing the council.
Thank you. I just wanted that clarified.
You're welcome. Does anyone else have something to share? Okay, so if not, we can move on to the next item, which is new business. And the first item on there is War on Trash Cleanup Initiative on May 6th at 9 a.m.
So
Um,
for this one, can Rishi display the flyer for you guys really quick, please? You just passed it. Okay, you can read this, dear.
The Wayne County Commission Youth Council is hosting a War on Trash and Motor City Makeover, a community cleanup day at the Lodge Service Drive in Greenfield on Saturday, May 6, 2023. The address is 20169 James Cousins, and it's from 10 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. There will be light refreshments and music before and after. Volunteers are needed to help collect trash and leaves. Bags provided. Bring a rake, broom, or shovel. For information into RSVP, contact Commissioner Monique Baker McCormick's office at 313-224-0881 or District 6 at waynecounty.com. Thank you for your support to keep Detroit clean.
You can go back to the agenda, but this is just the flyer for that event. You guys can screenshot just so you can have this information. It also will be emailed to you as well.
And we'll send it again in our iMessage group chat.
You can go back to the agenda.
Our next item is our discussion of annual report to the Wayne County Commission and lunch at JoJo's Shake Bar, which will be afterwards. Our discussion of our annual reports will be on April 11th. If you're
Actually, what you can do, Rishi, can you go to the email I just sent you guys? And then, Dear, you can actually just read off that. It gives more detail on this event and the times, and it also shows the permission slip, which would be the next item on the agenda. So just go to the email itself right now. Okay, you can read that, just like the gist of it.
okay, this is a reminder that we have our upcoming economic depression resolution presentation on Tuesday, April 11, 2023. We have to arrive promptly at 9:30 a.m. This event is time sensitive and we must be on time. Members should be dressed very professionally. This presentation will be in front of all Wayne County commissioners. The permission slip and excuse of absence for this event is attached to the email that we all got from Nairobi. We have to submit a completed permission slip by April 6th to attend the attend the presentation. If you have any questions or concerns, please contact them at 313-224-0884 or email wayneyouth2020@gmail.com. And if you scroll down, the permission slip is right there.
So this permission slip has been sent out to you guys today. Please make sure that you guys have this filled out and submitted within the next few days, as this event is coming up fairly soon. This is also your excuse of absence to have copied. You need to make an extra copy to give to your teachers for your excuse of absence that day. Please be reminded that this is on a Tuesday. This is April 11th. It will begin at 9:30 a.m. and it will take place throughout the duration of an entire school day to 3 p.m. You guys will be going to JoJo Shake Bar afterwards, and this will be provided to you. Make sure that you are dressed professionally and on time. You need to have transportation to and from the Guardian Building downtown on 500 Griswold Street. Make sure you have your parents sign this, and this needs to be submitted to attend this event as soon as possible.
Thank you, Nairobi. And I have a question. How many people from the public are allowed to attend the presentation?
I believe there is not a necessary limit, but if I were to be technical, I would say 2 people per student, just so that we're not, running out of space in that room. I think if you were here last year, you remember it's not a giant amount of space, but you definitely are allowed to have your parent come, or if you want a family member or a significant person to you to attend, I would say 2 people per student.
Okay, thank you.
Does anyone have any questions about this event and the permission slip?
I have one question regarding the permission slip. So most of you know I work from home. Technically, I can't really give this to a teacher and have them fill it out. So what's the case with me in particular?
This is for you to fill out and your parent, not the teacher. So this, you just copy it once you have already submitted it to us. And then you can either digitally have it emailed and scanned in to the teachers, or, whatever is best for you to get it to them.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm. Does anybody else have any questions about this event? Okay, so make sure you guys are all dressed professionally. Remember, you are presenting this in front of all the commissioners. You guys will have a time where you go up and you, say your name, your commissioner for your district that you represent, and where you're able to present yourself in front of the commission. So you guys should always be looking your best, sounding the best, and presenting yourself with as much professionalism as possible. Okay, dear, you can go on to the next item, and Rishi, you can go back to the agenda.
So our next item is announcements by members. Does anyone have an announcement to make?
Madam Chair, I have a couple announcements to make.
Go ahead, Robert.
Thank you. So I'd like to take a moment to ask for a moment of silence for the 3 lives that have been taken by the tragedy that was in Nashville, Tennessee earlier this week. I was in Eastern Tennessee when this happened, and it's very tragic what has happened and how much it's come down to. We have to, us as young people, start making our voices heard to really get some noise about this issue in our country. So I'd like to ask for a moment of silence for the 3 lives that were lost in Nashville, Tennessee this week.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you guys. So I just wanted to remind y'all that our resolutions last year were about gun violence and they got approved. So that really ties into this situation. And I hope that things like this can keep happening. Things that we're doing can keep happening to make a change in gun violence, especially in schools. Does anyone else have an announcement?
This is Zanet speaking. Announcement, just for everyone be mindful. Please check the iMessage group chat because I do send things in there. Respond just so nobody can say, oh, last minute things were sent. I send a lot of things in advance and I don't get responses. Also, a lot of information is sent to your email. So please, if you don't, I'm sorry about the noise of that. If you don't physically see an email that says Wayne County Commission Youth Council, just look it up in your tab just to keep everything up to date. That's all I have to say. My condolences to the Nashville victims or anyone else. And yeah.
Okay,
Thank
I
you.
also wanted to say something. I forgot. Can you display that other flyer as well, Rishi, just so I can make sure everyone sees that as well that I emailed to you? So that one right there. This flyer was also emailed to you all, just to let you know that Chair Bell was hosting this event on April 15th. If you guys are able to attend, or if you guys wanted to attend this event to get a free prom dress and shoes, this will take place April 15th at 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. at the Boys and Girls Club on Tireman Ave in Detroit, Michigan. So if you wanted to RSVP, the number is right there. If you want to screenshot this flyer and send it to somebody you know who may need to attend this event, then that option is available as well. So I just wanted to let you guys know that as well. You can go back to the agenda, and dear, you can go to the next item on the agenda as well.
So the next item is public comment. I'd like to open the floor to anyone on the line who would like to leave a public comment. Hearing none, our next item is adjournment. So do I have a motion to adjourn this meeting?
Don't forget to read the things below that first.
Okay. We also have a parent meeting on April 6th at 6:30 p.m. on Zoom to discuss upcoming events, followed by an executive board meeting. And our next event is April 11th at 10 a.m. Our youth economic oppression resolution presentation, which would be at the Wayne County Commission Chambers, which is on 500 Griswold, Detroit, Michigan, 48226. Now, do I have a motion to adjourn this meeting?
Madam Chair, I'd like to motion to adjourn this meeting.
I second the motion.
Meeting is adjourned. See you guys at our next event on April 11th. Have a good night.
Have a good rest of your break, everyone. Take care.